the New Testament uses allegory like that in more than one place. And we have to look at the New Testament's use of figurative language in order to make a conclusion about this temple. For example, in Galatians 4:21 and following, we have the Apostle Paul mentioning Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, and Mount Sinai, and he even uses the word allegory in there. So he takes in Galatians 4, these Old Testament stories, Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, Mount Sinai, and uses them to draw a New Testament spiritual conclusion, an allegorical application. We cannot then conclude that because this New Testament allegory in Galatians 4 is there, we don't conclude, therefore, there were no physical Mount Sinai, and that Abraham and Sarah and Hagar were figurative people that never existed. I mean, that's not a legitimate way of interpreting the scriptures. No, it's the other way around. Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, Mount Sinai were real physical things that Paul used in an allegorical sense. The physical logically precedes the allegorical application. This doesn't stop there. The New Testament keeps going with this. Hebrews 9:9 speaks of the tabernacle ceremony as, quote, symbolic of the present time, unquote, is what it says there. In Hebrews, it's taking the Old Testament tabernacle ceremonies and explaining them and walking them through, showing how this represents Jesus Christ. Well, we don't conclude that because Hebrews 9 and following use these things in a figurative spiritual sense, therefore there was no real, actual, physical ceremony that the priest went through in the tabernacle. Again, it's the other way around. Because there was a real physical temple ceremony, therefore Hebrews can use it in an allegorical sense. Further, 1 Corinthians 12:21, Paul speaks of Christians and the church as a body, speaks of them as having eyes, hands, feet. He said the eye can't talk to the feet and separate out. So he's explaining the church in this allegorical sense of a body with eyes and hands and feet. We don't then conclude there is no real physical body with no eyes, hands, and feet.